Leonardo da Vinci once said that time waits just long enough for those who use it. So the question is, what are you doing with your time? We all have 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with your time? Are you building your dream? Or are you helping someone else build theirs? Are you putting in the work every single day, every single moment of now? Are you planning for your future? They say planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. So the question is this: what are you doing with your time? Remember, the time is always now.
And thank you for joining me for the Time Is Always Now podcast. My name is Terence. I'm your host for the podcast today. This is a podcast that's dedicated to helping people get past their excuses. Helping people say, I'm not going to do it someday or one day, but I'm going to do it right now. Because now is the only time we have. If you don't know who I am, my name is Terence Young. I go by TY. I'm a mindset coach, a new thought transformational speaker, an author, and a workshop facilitator. I help people get past their paradigms of waiting on all the circumstances to be perfect before they move forward to change their lives for the better. Because we must move forward right now. I help people harness the power in the eternal moment of now. So thank you for joining me for this episode of the Time Is Always Now podcast. If you have not joined us on Facebook, we have a Facebook group there, the Time Is Always Now Facebook group, where we encourage, inspire, and motivate each other to live our lives to the fullest right now, not waiting on that perfect time to do it. So join us over there on Facebook as well, and you will be encouraged, you'll be inspired, you'll be challenged as well. So join us there. And each week in the Facebook group, we have a theme. And this week, the theme is community. And I love the fact of community being the theme this week with all the things I have going on in my life. So I'm going to share some tangible ways you can think about community and how you can input it into your life, or how you can think about community, put it into your life, and tangibly change your life right here, right now. So the first quote I'm going to use today is this: community is about doing something together that makes belonging matter. Community is about doing things together that makes belonging matter, right? I told this story the other day when I was married, and we built a house in Wesley Chapel. We had a community garden. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a community garden, but it's one of the funnest things ever because the entire community comes together and everybody has a little plot in the community garden. So you would come together and you'd meet other families and where they're planting their tomatoes and their potatoes or whatever the case may be, and you're planting your lemons and limes, and you're all together and you get to learn about each other, have conversations, and meet each other's families. It makes belonging in the community matter. That's what community is about, making things matter. It's funny, I'm studying to be a certified personal trainer right now. And I'm learning so much, and I just went to co-lead a workout with Camp Gladiator. I'm going to be doing Camp Gladiator boot camp style workouts right here in the Tampa Bay area, right here in Lutz in North Tampa. So I went to co-lead a group, and one of the ladies there was at her 50th camp. And they celebrated it. It was so cool. The trainer, Christine, she made a 50 out of cones, little cones she put on the ground. So it was in the shape of 50, and she took a picture of her to celebrate her 50th camp because it was a milestone. It's something to celebrate, and that's what makes Camp Gladiator so good, because there's a community there, and we work together. It makes belonging matter. And that's important. And that's what we want to do in our lives. Celebrate all the milestones, no matter how small they may be. My son just had his 26th birthday and we celebrated together. But whatever the milestone is, if it's your 50th camp or your first camp or your 10th camp or whatever it is in your life, if you graduated from something, if you passed a test, celebrate that within a community of people, right? That consensus community of people that you work with, whether it be a class or a group or whatever the case may be. Celebrate those milestones, because that's what community is about. And when you celebrate each and every milestone, it makes belonging matter. And that's what changes your experience in life. So remember that when you're thinking about the next birthday that you think is not important to that friend, celebrate it. When that friend says they passed the course, celebrate it. When that friend says they made it to the first week of this workout plan, celebrate it. Celebrate the milestones, because that's what community is about. And it makes belonging to something matter. That's so important in our lives. So that's the first thing today. Second one is this: alone, I love this quote, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. I think Helen Keller said that. It's so powerful. And I think it just comes back to our world. Alone, if we only think about ourselves, we can do so little. But if we think about helping the whole, the entire world, we can do so much. If we just work together. If you just think about what's going on in our country right now, what's going on in our world right now, we have a lot of different people that are only thinking about themselves. And I'm not taking sides either. I'm saying people are only thinking about themselves. They're saying, well, I have the right to do this and I have the right to do that. But what about the rest? What about other people's rights? If we continue to hit head to head like this, we're never going to go anywhere, because we're working alone. But when we work together, then we can move forward. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's teamwork on the sports field, the court, whatever the case may be, you can try to do it all by yourself. But when you work together, that's when you get things done. Think of Michael Jordan. If you really know his story, you would know that he was in the league. Most people think he came in the league, he won 6 championships and left. But no, it didn't quite work that way. He was in the league for 8 years before he won a championship. And you know what most people will realize if they know basketball and they watch it? They said for the first 6 or 7 years, he tried to do it all by himself. Oh, he was an amazing player. He scored 30 points a game, but they lost in the first round of the playoffs and were put out by better teams that worked together. So he tried to do it by himself, but he went up against teams that worked together, and he couldn't beat them by himself until he got a better team around him. And then he started to, as you will see if you saw his documentary, maybe you have. Lots of people saw it, whether they're basketball fans or not. You'll see a lot of the players say once Michael started to trust his team, his teammates, that's when we took off. Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. So think about in your life, where are you trying to do it all by yourself? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Ask for the help. We work together in community. You don't do anything on your own. You don't raise your kids on your own. You don't graduate from school on your own. You don't do anything on your own. Even when it feels like you're doing it on your own, you're not doing it on your own. There are people behind you. There are people helping you. There are people that put you in a position to be where you are right now, helped you get there. If you really think about it, you'll see that. Alone, we can do so little. But together, when we work together, when we work within a community, we can do so much. We can change our world. Think about how you can work within your community to help change your world. Third thing is this: community is the foundation of success. That's right, it's the foundation of success. If you want to build something that's successful, you have to have a community. I think of Elon Musk, right? Tesla, right? What has he done? Right? Not just with Tesla, but that's the most thing we know him for now. Now he's got spaceships and all kind of other stuff too, right? But he built a community, right? He built a community of people that say, I am a Tesla driver. It's special, it's different. It's an electric car, and they're not just cheap looking electric cars. They're luxury electric cars and sport electric cars and SUVs. I'm a Tesla driver. I'm a part of that community. He built a community. and it's the foundation of the success of the company, is that there is a community of people that say, hey, I'm a Tesla driver. That makes me something. Now, I don't mean that they think they're better than someone else. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they feel like they're a part of a community. It's important when you're building a community. There's three things you need to do. You need to build a brand, right? Building a brand means creating a presence where people can connect with what you are. If you say Elon Musk, you think Tesla right away. He's built a brand. He's absolutely built a brand. If you see the logo for a Tesla, you know it's Tesla. And if you see one on the road, you know it's a Tesla too, right? You know the doors. You can't just grab the locks, right? They come out when they turn the car on, right? Things like that. You just know it. He's built a brand. He's built a brand. Then you build that community around the brand. You help the people feel that they're a part of this. They're not just buying a Tesla, they're a part of a community, right? And they feel like this makes them special because they're connected with the community. I can say the same thing as a Jeep owner, right? As a Jeep owner, we always wave at each other when we drive by. It's just being a part of a community. I feel proud to be a Jeep Wrangler owner because I can wave at other Jeeps and we have that unspoken language that we speak to each other. I was just at a camp the other day and like 3 people at the camp had Jeeps. And it was just one of those things. We just kind of look at each other and say, yeah, you got a Wrangler, I got a Wrangler. It's kind of cool. It's just a cool thing. But you're building a community, right? Build a brand, build that community around it, make people feel special, right? Make people feel special that they're a part of your community. Building that community. Building that community is the foundation of success. So whatever is your endeavor, whatever that you're doing, find a way to build a community around it where people feel special. They are a part of something bigger than themselves. And that will help you succeed in whatever it is you want to do. It's not about necessarily having money, but the money will come if you build the community first and you connect with the people. You build those relationships with people. That's what community is about. And when we do that, we can change our experience, change our lives, we can change our world. And man, we need that right now. Hey, thank you for joining me for this episode of the Time Is Always Now podcast. I forgot to mention earlier, if you want to donate to the podcast, by all means you can do so. Just go to my website, TerenceYoungNow.com, and you can donate there. So thank you in advance for that. Thank you again for joining me for this Time Is Always Now podcast episode. Remember, if you build community, it's the foundation of success. It helps you move forward in life. When we work together as a community, we can change our world. We can change our lives. And then we can unequivocally say, I own the now. And I have won. Thank you again. This is TY. I'm signing off. Remember, the time is always